Hi, Sagittariuses. Welcome to your messages for the month of June. Let me give you an idea of how this is going to work. I'm looking over the messages you got for May for context, and then I'm going to go back and forth between May and June to kind of give you a better understanding of what it is you're dealing with. So we're going to start off with the general messages from the oracles, possibly some messages from underneath the decks. So the overall energy here underneath the deck is the Queen of Swords. Getting insight, this did come up in your May reading as something that you should keep from April. So it feels like you're getting a lot of insight into a situation. You're keeping your distance, using your logic, using reasoning, not being emotional, just kind of looking at the facts, looking at the very bare facts as they're laid out before you, and making cold judgments. Like, it doesn't feel like you're using any kind of emotion to figure things out. But it is interesting. You're going to be challenged with that this month. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's look into May. What were some of the general messages that you had in May? Something that you were encouraged to keep from April going into May was the Queen of Swords, which is showing up as your general energy for June. So we were talking about kind of keeping people at arm's length and not revealing too much of what's going on with you, and just kind of gathering information and looking at things as they show up. Very non-biased, non-emotional. And what you're being encouraged to take from May into June is the Seven of Wands. So this is really quite an intense energy. This is you standing up for yourself. This is you defending yourself. This is you possibly needing to fight against something, against the odds, against obstacles. It's like you may feel like all odds are against you in a situation, but you do have to kind of persevere through it. And that's what you're being encouraged to do in June. And then something that you're being encouraged to release from May, really, really interesting. So both of these cards, the Seven of Wands and the Death card, showed up as cards in May for things that were potential, things that were opportunities that you could take advantage of. And so it feels like what you may have been exploring in May had served its purpose. Some of it you're still having to do, like the Seven of Wands. Some of it you're having to release, which is the Death card. And with the Death card, it's kind of this feeling of going through a huge Pluto kind of change in your life, like Pluto transit. And I wonder if any of you are actually going through a Pluto transit. But basically what it means is you're going through this big kind of cleanse or metamorphosis of a situation, possibly even of yourself. It's almost like a deep cleaning of the house, right? Of the psyche, of relationships, of experiences in your life that you kind of had to go sweep through everything mercilessly. There's a real merciless feeling here that changes. Thankfully, it changes further down, but it seems like here, like in the beginning, when we're talking about this shift from May into June, there's this kind of taking no prisoners, no emotionalism, no sentimentality. I just have to be really, really clear-headed and make decisions from a place of logic. But you're being encouraged to kind of be less dramatic, I would say. Kind of take things easy, take things slow, don't respond too fast, don't assume the worst, don't feel that you have to cut ties or destroy a situation, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? Be careful, be discerning with what it is you're doing, and that's kind of a strong energy here with the Queen of Swords anyways. So let's see what was happening for you in May that you were being encouraged to release from April. You had the Five of Wands, Hermit, Two of Wands, Page of Cups. A feeling of anger, a feeling of hostility, of fighting, of conflict, of being on your own or having to deal with things on your own. Possibly being sentimental, very emotional, and just kind of waiting for things to open up, waiting for things to change. That feels like what you were being encouraged to release. So maybe less of an emotional reaction, less of isolating yourself, less of fighting, less of waiting for things, kind of taking charge and spending time with people and getting assistance from others. So here, we're going to talk about what the main theme is for the month of June. You have change. Some people are really afraid of change. I feel like Sagittariuses, along with Scorpios, are quite good at change. I may be wrong, but I feel that way. And with Sagittarius, you have this desire to explore new frontiers, to be adventurous, to kind of break the norm or do things in a different way, in a kind of a wild way, in a free-spirited way. And so I see here, it's not really about that, but it is about changing your mind about something by removing yourself from a really difficult circumstance, at least mentally. You're processing something mentally where you can now come to the other side of it and be calmer. You're like, okay, I see things for what they are. I'm calm now. I've gone through the storm. I've reached the other side. This is really calm and peaceful and serene. And I really hope that that's true, because I feel like that's a huge relief coming from this kind of energy of May, where there was fighting, where there was endings, where there was just a lot of chaos, I feel, just from looking at the cards. Let's look into what you should be aware of in the coming month of June. There is an intense ending. And this could be betrayal, this could be people backstabbing, people going against you know, against, behind your back. Something ending in the most dreadful way, where you're just like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I mean, if you're honest with yourself, you did see it coming. But it's kind of like, sometimes we're caught up in the storm and we don't see the forest for the trees, right? We kind of get overwhelmed with what we're experiencing in the moment that we're in it. And it takes retrospect. It takes being out of a situation. It takes distance. It takes time to look back and say, wow, that was like a really intense time in my life, and I was processing a lot. I was dealing with a lot. There's a lot of processing here. 7 of Wands, Death card, 6 of Swords, 10 of Swords. So if there's something that you need to be aware of, is that there are things that you're currently experiencing that are really difficult, that are going to end soon. They're going to end, they may end in a devastating way. But I will say that with the 6 of Swords being your main theme of the month, it feels like you're really coming to the calm after the storm. It may, you know, shit may hit the fan, but then you look back and you're like, wow, okay, that was, you know, that was necessary, or that was coming. I saw that, I should have seen that coming. It may even just be a situation that you can't really avoid. Like, it's going to happen regardless of what you do and how you think about it, because it's been, the 10 of Swords is the highest number. It's been working its way up there for a while. Let's keep going. So, what to focus on? I actually want to do a quick look at May and what you had as your something to be aware of. You had the World and the 9 of Wands. Yeah, similar, weird. So similar energy, there was endings. There was a completion of a cycle. With the 9 of Wands, it's something that you were wanting, something you were working towards, but there were a lot of obstacles. And here it just feels like there's an acceptance of this is over. It's bitter. It's not sweet. The sweetness comes from realizing that it's over and kind of taking a sigh of relief and saying, okay, you know, I can move on now. In the traditional tarot, there's like a boat. There's 2 people inside of the boat, and they're kind of sailing away from a difficult situation. Yeah, they have like 6 swords in the boat with them. When I look at that card, I always think of like refugees. Like it's like they really came from war, or they came from a really dark experience, and now they're going towards the light, they're going towards freedom and towards peace, something that they could not envision, something they couldn't even ever hope for, ever expect in their lives. And it feels like that's kind of where you're at, but there was a real devastation here that happened as a result of something that's been going on for a really long time. Sometimes for me, the Ten of Swords is just like a mental health thing, like a depression. And I'm not trying to decrease what that means for you, right? Because mental health can feel really intense, but I guess I'm trying to show that it could be translated in different ways for different people, depending on your circumstance. Ten of Swords is basically an ending. It is mental because it's swords, so it could be the way that you're looking at a situation has to change. And with the Six of Swords, that would support it. You know, it's like, I was dealing with something difficult mentally, maybe that's what it is for you, and then, you know, you look back and you're like, wow, I got through that. So let's keep going. The next one is what to focus on in the month of June. I just want to do a quick look at May. You had Temperance, the Four of Swords, the Two of Coins. You got a lot of cards, I noticed, for May. I think you were the sign that got the most cards. With Temperance, that's your sign of Sagittarius. Four of Swords was rest. Two of Coins was kind of like checking your options, balancing things out, you know, trying different things. It feels like you were being encouraged to get balance, to get rest, to get perspective, to focus on that. And here in the month of June, you're being encouraged to wait. To keep nurturing a situation till it bears fruit. Like there's something that you're waiting on for harvest. Don't give up on it. There's something that you just have to keep attending to day in, day out, and eventually you will get the reward for the hard work. This is not winning the lottery. Very much no. This is like, I know everything that went into that. Whatever it is, right? Like that project, that job, that child that was brought up and raised into an adult. I have seen all the transitions. I was there for every little bit of experience. I know everything that went into that. I put all my blood, sweat, and tears into that, and now I will see it grow. I now have seen it blossom and bear fruit, and I'm very proud of what I've created. So you're not there yet, but you're being encouraged to keep going, knowing that eventually you will get there. We do have success here in the bottom, so we're going to see what that is later. And then for something that you should do more of in June, let's see what it was for May. You had the Eight of Wands, so this was about communication. Interesting. Fast developments, communication, putting your energy out there, being more extroverted, more focused on people, connections, networking. Fiery, right? Which is your element. You are the element of fire. So we're looking at Knight of Cups for what you're being encouraged to do. This is out of your element. Again, we all have many different signs in our birth chart, so it's not really like you are one element. It's just your sun sign, which is what I'm assuming you're watching this for. But this is the Knight of Cups, so this is a water element. This is about your emotions. It's connecting with your emotions. It's artistic, creative self-expression. It's expressing your feelings. It's trusting your feelings and acting and responding to them. It's honoring your emotions, right? Not just kind of ignoring them or letting them pass. Because the interesting thing about emotions, and I just want to put that out there because we were talking about mental health, and I'm not a mental health practitioner. So please, you know, if that's the issue, please get the advice that you need from the professional people who deal with that, because that's not me. I'm just here for some spiritual entertainment purposes. But the way I would look at it with the Knight of Cups is that, yes, our emotions fluctuate. And we cannot use our emotions to define our reality. Because one day you might feel up, one day you might feel down, right? One day you might be going through the most overwhelming depression, right? And maybe like a year later you look back and you're like, okay, well, I know why that happened. There were all these circumstances, like maybe grief, or maybe divorce, or maybe separation, or heartbreak, or a job loss, like whatever it is, there's some kind of shift in your life that causes an emotional upheaval. And that doesn't mean that those emotions need to be held onto as the only thing that ever existed. It's like good for you to see that your emotions fluctuate and that you can ride the wave, that you can go with the flow, that you can release negative emotions and find more positive ways to express them, to heal, to deal with them. So that's, the mental health portion of it. I feel that you can start to see that your emotions don't have to define you or sweep you up into like reactions that have nothing to do with how you really want to be living your life, right? That's why you're being encouraged so much to kind of take a back stance and watch things unfold and not get overly attached to how you're feeling about things. But here, you're being encouraged to really connect with your emotions, and maybe your emotions have something to tell you. So instead of ignoring your emotions, instead of putting them away, instead of getting upset that you're feeling a certain way, right? Getting upset that you're upset. It's like just going to make you more upset. Maybe take a time out and say, okay, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? Where is it coming from? When did I start feeling this way? Did someone tell me something that made me think a certain way or made me look at a situation in a way that I don't agree with, or in a way that was puzzling or difficult? And then, because we're talking about spirituality as well, and this isn't like a psychology channel, obviously, I drifted off for a minute, then, with spirituality, it's like your emotions are also triggering something. They're intuiting you into something that may be going on behind the scenes that you're not aware of, like in your unconscious, or things that your intuition picks up on that your logical mind won't. Okay, let's move on from that. So that was what to do more of, what to do less of. Don't be impulsive. Got it, Sagittarius? Knight of Wands. This is your energy. Like, so much so, Sagittarius will just jump into a situation, take a risk, be the fool, right? The fool card just kind of takes a leap of faith into the unknown. I often see Sagittarius as that, like, hitchhiker or whatever, just kind of on the side of the road, trying to get a ride somewhere, trying to go anywhere but here, that kind of mentality. And I feel like here it's being translated in a sense of you're wanting just to see action. You're wanting to see results. You're wanting to see action. You're wanting to feel that fire of like, okay, stuff's moving forward. Not wanting to be stuck anymore. Not wanting to feel like everything's just kind of stagnant. There's a lot of stagnant energy that you've had to release through May. And so I'm thinking you're really wanting to move forward and take charge of a situation. But it feels like, yes, you're being encouraged to stand up for yourself, but you're not being encouraged to just impulsively react to things as they happen and take action without thinking things through. It's like, connect with your emotions, be reasonable, take some distance from a situation, get through the storm of it. You will get through the storm. See the peaceful way of looking at a situation, not the reactive way. And then things will kind of flow. It will feel like effortless to take action. It won't feel resistant. It won't feel challenging. It won't feel like a fight. It will feel calm. So let's see what you had for May when it comes to things that you should do, things that you shouldn't do. What was that? So that was 6 and 7. So for May, you had the 8 of Wands, which was communication. We talked about that. And then for things to not do, you had the Hangman, the Sun, the Hierophant, the King of Coins. And what I was speaking about there in May was about relationships that you're very tied to, where you feel like these people are so close to you, sometimes they can kind of take a more important role over your decision making, over how you manage your life, your resources. And it was important to be objective and to have boundaries. Maybe that's related. I'm not sure how it would relate for you guys, but I'm just putting it out there in case someone relates the two things, having boundaries and not being reactive, not jumping the gun, not making decisions kind of impulsively, rather taking your time, meditating on your emotions, getting connected, having like a good emotional hygiene. I like that. If I had to call this video something, I would call it good emotional hygiene. Having a good emotional hygiene in a sense of knowing where your emotions are coming from, what they deal with. Had a really interesting experience last year where it was like a mother-daughter thing. I won't give too much information, but it was a mother-daughter, and the mother was kind of encouraging her daughter to connect with her body to find out what the emotions are. So she was like, are you feeling, when the daughter was really angry, she was like, are you feeling knots in your stomach? She wanted her daughter to start describing, she was quite young, I think she was like 3 or 4. She wanted her to start thinking visually about her emotions and where they are in her body. Like, is it around her stomach? Is it around her throat area, around her heart? Like, where is it pain? Is it anger? Is it sadness? How does it feel in her body? Can she describe it? Does she have a funny feeling in her stomach? And it kind of feels like that. It's like connect with your emotions, connect with where they're coming from, start to understand them, develop a language where you can like articulate your emotions. Emotional intelligence, right? That's where we're getting at. Okay, so, and I know I'm making it sound really childish, but like the fact that that kid was 3 years old doesn't mean that what her parent was doing was quite revolutionary, like, or quite, you know, forward thinking for, you know, at least the generation I grew up in. That wasn't happening a lot of that stuff. So let's look into opportunities, possibilities coming in. Lots of cards again. Okay. Just because this is an opportunity doesn't mean you take it. You get to decide if it's positive or negative. Even if it's negative, you might do it anyways. Even if it's positive, you might not do it. And it depends on your awareness. And that's what we're trying to increase with these readings. Just kind of a self-awareness so that you can make decisions in a better way. This isn't about predicting your future. It's just about getting in touch with yourself, doing a check-in, figuring out if this is something that applies to you, and if it doesn't, obviously, don't take it. 6 of Cups, Ace of Swords, 5 of Wands, Strength, 10 of Cups. A lot. And a lot of contradictory messages as well. So there's a lot coming up for you in June. There's an emotional attachment to the past. There's sentimentality. There might be time spent with people from your past, people returning from your past, reunions, getting together with old friends, getting together with family, spending a lot of time with people from your childhood, with family, with friends, reminiscing, looking over photographs. I don't know what it is for you, right? But the past is somehow lingering, and there's an opportunity to connect with it in June. Clarity, Ace of Swords, you may have an opportunity to get real clear about something, to get information, to see things in a very direct, straightforward, honest, and clear way, and to be communicating in that way as well. 5 of Wands, there could be fighting, there could be conflict. There could be competition. There might be others trying to get the same position as you. There might be people who are a threat to you somehow, like to your success or to your happiness or to your safety even. You know, like 5 of Wands does give me a sense of like a war, like a conflict. Strength, there's an opportunity to surmount, to overcome, to be strong, to persevere, to survive something difficult, to come out the other end. 10 of Cups, there's an opportunity to get everything you've ever wanted, to be very successful, to be very happy, to count your blessings, to emotionally connect with your current situation and feel free and feel happy and feel fortunate for everything that you have. It feels loaded, let's put it that way, because there's a lot going on. There's things pulling on your emotions, there's reality check, there's people kind of being difficult, let's put it that way. There's abilities to overcome things, and then there's abilities to really connect with your feelings, with your emotions in ways that feel fulfilling, in ways that feel deepening, in ways that feel fortunate, like a blessing, right? So much going on. And again, these are just opportunities. It doesn't mean they might actually happen for you. Really depends on how you play your cards through the month, how you think about things, how you interact with the experiences that come your way. You don't get to choose what happens to you always in life, but you get to choose how you respond, how you feel about things, how you see things. Let's look at what will feed your soul in the month of June. So in May, what will feed your soul was the Three of Cups. It was about, Three of Cups. So it was about kind of celebrating, getting together with friends, getting together with people, having a good time, but also healing something, recovering from something, letting something go. This is a much more positive energy, much more upfront and lively. It feels like what's going to feed your soul in the month of June is showing up as yourself, being confident. Even like if you're into creative arts, this is expressing yourself, getting up on a stage, presenting your artwork, presenting your ideas, being the spokesperson for something, being very courageous, very upfront, speaking out about something that angers you even, but this is about being proactive and productive and getting results, not just spinning your wheels in the dirt and not getting anywhere. It feels like this is also like a very attractive energy. So if you're single and interested, this could be like very much about attracting the right mate to you. If you're in a relationship or just seeing people, it could still apply. It's just kind of you're in an energy where you're very attractive. And what's feeding your soul in the month of June is being yourself, stepping into power, and attracting people to you, being magnetic, being charming, being fun, a person that people just want to have fun with and want to be around. And it's because you're not trying. It's because you're being yourself, right? People talk a lot about like human doing versus human being. You're a human being. You're not human doing. And I think that's also a real theme for you throughout the month, is to just like connect with who you are and don't try so hard. What's going to give you joy? So what gave you joy in May, according to the cards, was Page of Wands. Very similar energy, though a lot more in its infancy stage. It was kind of like you were maybe figuring out how to be this person, figuring out how to be yourself, figuring out how to get your confidence back, how to express yourself, how to try new hobbies, be artistic, be creative, go out there, mingle with the world, maybe even like some kind of physical intimacy situation. So this feels like you're already fulfilled in that way and know how to like navigate it better in the month of June. And something that gives you joy, it does have to do with sadness, though, I will say that. So it could be with another person, could be a divine counterpart, could be like someone that you're in a relationship with. It doesn't have to be, but because it's Queen of Wands, King of Wands. But this could be like your divine masculine side and your divine feminine side. So if we look at it that way, as your divine masculine, it's like stepping into power and being a leader and showing the way to others, being really confident and fearless. And it seems like in some ways there is regret. There is a loss. And with the Four of Cups, there's things that you're not aware of that are showing up. And let's see what these things are. Because the thing is, when I look at these two cards, the Five of Cups and the Four of Cups, the common ground between them is that in both cards, there is an opportunity to do a reversal. Let's flip the card. I'm not reading with reversals, if you haven't noticed. So if I'm flipping the card, I'm looking at a situation where you're presented with an option, and where in the past you may have not seen it as an option, or been too busy looking at things that didn't work out to see new opportunities. Now you are seeing new opportunities. Now you're looking with fresh eyes at things. With the Five of Cups, it's like maybe you've spent a lot of time crying over spilt milk. Maybe there's been a lot of disappointment and sadness and grief. But now there's an opportunity to look behind you, to turn your eyes to like a different direction and be like, oh wow, look, there's someone offering me their cup of love. There's a job offer. There's a new home I can move to. There's this, there's that. It's kind of an opening, an openness. So that could give you joy. I would try to read these cards that way. Otherwise, it's just an ability to grieve a situation that's long done, that you can now kind of close out. And maybe crying over it, maybe really feeling your feelings and connecting with your feelings is something that you don't always do, but helps you now with processing a situation that's difficult. King of Wands, this could be someone that you're connected with that feels like a kindred spirit, that feels like a soulmate. And being connected with this person makes you feel more alive. Yeah. But again, it could just be you stepping into your power as the divine masculine side of yourself. Relationships are assignments for optimal growth and healing. Really appropriate, just as I was talking about relationships. And if I want to feel supported, I must support myself. And that might be an issue that's coming up in relationships, to kind of put a mirror to you, to self-reflect of like, okay, why am I feeling frustrated with this person that I'm dealing with? Is it something that I'm not doing for myself, right? How can I self-reflect and instead of pointing a finger at someone else, just kind of look at myself and figure out how to change my situation from within. The Sun card, which is called Dancing with the Sun here in this deck, Dancing with the Sun at the bottom. This feels like you're being encouraged to really celebrate life and go out and meet people and connect with people in a lively and celebratory way. It feels like you've been through a lot. This is lightening your load in quite a big way. Allow yourself to connect and be present in the universe. I could not say that better. Let me just put these two cards together upright so I can read the message. Allow yourself to connect and be present in the universe, the external and the internal. Where does one end and another begin? And the way I would think of that is like really connecting with yourself emotionally, so that as you're experiencing things, instead of questioning them, it feels more natural and flowing because you are authentic, because you are transparent, and because you are trusting the experiences that you're having in your life and the people that are showing up in your life as being authentic as well. I know Sagittarius is all about speaking the truth and being honest. I mean, that doesn't mean that every Sagittarius is, but that's kind of, the symbol or the way the sign is read. And so I can kind of see this part of yourself opening up here and being very honest and truthful and authentic to who you are and what you're going through. Close your eyes, open up to the infinite wonders that surround you, that are you. Breathe life deeply into your being and out into the world. It is really about connecting with your spirituality, your inner experience of things, rather than deflecting, rather than projecting, rather than reacting, rather than getting swept up and impulsive. It's kind of like, let me take a back seat. Let me calm down. Let me meditate. Let me think about this. Let me journal. Let me go to some retreat, some yoga retreat or something like that, and process my emotions. And I will come back cleansed. I will come back with new perspective. I will come back at peace, whatever that means for you. Yeah, I hope this reading helped someone. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments if this does resonate.